see that you've returned to me yet again, and it's always very nice to see you. It's always such a treat, and I'd say that this is our, third meeting? Fourth? It's hard to say. Time in here passes strangely, especially when you don't really get to see and talk to people. Well, I get to see them. I get to kind of talk, but, well, you understand that it can't be terribly easy with a gag in my mouth. But I understand that they don't understand. And so these are the precautionary measures that must be taken. It's just unfortunate. I have much to be said. I'm sure that we could all learn something from each other. But, alas, at least they've allowed me you. And I must say that I have enjoyed every time that you've come to see me. And it seems that our visits, our time together has had quite an influence, I think, perhaps. I'm not sure what they might be gleaning from this, or even what you might be telling them. But I feel like I could trust you. Anyways, it is always a good time when you come to visit, and now that I see that you are here again, it brings a smile to my face. Well, I'm really glad that you feel the same way. Yes. Well, I'd like to think that you can trust me as well. Although I can understand that it might be a little difficult too, considering the circumstances. I am locked in here for a reason. But I don't believe it might be the reason that they've told you, if they've told you anything. Nonetheless, our conversations have, it seems, a theme. We have talked much about fear and what fear means and how it tends to manifest. We've talked about your fears, the things that have been keeping you up at night, the things that have plagued your mind and your dreams. And in light of this, I asked them for a little something, and they do tend to give me what I want so long as it doesn't seem like it will be detrimental in any way to their ability to watch me and observe and of course not detrimental to their safety procedures that they put up. So I requested a little present with you in mind to show you that I do care, and regardless of what they've said of me and my intentions, I do so wish to help you. I too know what it is like to be consumed by fear. It is not a nice feeling to have to look over your shoulder every 2 seconds. A afraid of the dark and the things that go bump in the night. But there was this thing that I had interacted with, I guess you could say, when I was not a part of this little organization. And I had found it to be an interesting little endeavor, and something that, even if perhaps I may not have believed in it, or those others may not have believed in it, I found great comfort in using them. They were terribly accurate. So I do have a question for you that would be important, I suppose, in whether these would be useful and a good idea for you. Tell me, do you believe in angels? You know, the guardian angel that is at your shoulder, whispering guidance and encouragement. They're there, but we can't always hear them. We rarely get to see them. These cards here are used to help you commune with them, to hear their messages, and receive their divine assistance. This set here is won by a human, or so I understand her to be, named Doreen Virtue. They are the Angel Therapy Oracle cards. There's 44 cards in the deck. And, well, what are they? Are they the same as, no, they're not quite the same as tarot cards at all. Here, let me show them to you. These, you see, they draw their divination from different sources. Tarot tends to be more based in alchemy, numerology, symbolism, esoteric symbolism. Angel cards are more etheric, and they are meant to be based on the energies of you, the one asking, and the angels that answer. Usually Michael's mainly based on protection and guidance. Raphael as well, based in healing. So these are meant to guide and heal. They're meant to clear negativity, fear, and imbue positivity and light. So I thought maybe it might be a good idea to give them a go. You want to know how they work? What the process is? Well, there's a few steps. The first step would be clearing the cards. You would clear them with either burning sage and declaring that you are clearing them, declaring your intent. The other is one strong knock I'd hold them here in my left hand like this, make a fist with my right, and then strike them, sort of like knocking on a door. The second step is called consecrating the deck. And in that step, I will have you touch each card so that it can better align with your energies. And as you do this, you will give the angels permission to assist you and speak or think deeply of your intentions. Which of course leads us to the third step, which is of course asking the right angel. You'll ask Michael to watch over your reading. You'll ask for his protection and his guidance. Next, you'll ask your question, and I will shuffle until I no longer feel the urge to shuffle. We will then do a 3-card spread, and you will choose 3 cards, whichever cards speak to you the most. Then we will read and interpret the message based on the card's image, the message written on the card, and the description that comes in this handy little guidebook that they have provided. So then, would you like to give it a try? Yes? Fantastic. Now I need you to clear your mind of any negative thoughts, clear your mind of any anxieties, and I want you to open your mind. I want you to take 3 deep breaths with me, okay? 1, 2, 'Focus on relaxing your body, the tensions that you might feel, and of course releasing them from your mind. And the 3rd time, let's do 1 more breath. Good. How are you feeling? A little calmer? Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Alright, so, do you remember what the first step is? That's right, clearing the cards. So, I've got the deck in my left hand, got my hand in a fist, and I'm going to say that I'm clearing the cards of all other energies, including my own. Any bad energies that may have entered, for they're not wanted and welcome here. And this here is a safe space that we've created for us. Right? And now, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do you remember the second step? That's right, consecrating the cards. I'm going to hand them over to you, and I want you to touch each and every card, even if it's just for a fleeting second, even if it's just the corner of the card. Just want you to feel them in your hands, hold them, close your eyes and think of your intention. What is your intention? Clarity. Very good. And ask the angels permission to assist you. And then give them permission to assist you. Good, good. And now ask specifically for Michael's help. You can say, yeah, nothing, it doesn't need to be any sort of fanciful incantation. It's just whatever comes to your mind. Sure, it could be just as simple as saying, Michael, I give you permission and I ask for your guidance. Yep, that will work. Good. Now, you've touched all the cards. Hold them in your hand. I want you to spread them out. Cross your chest. Hold them before your heart. Breathe deeply and don't be afraid. And now, speak your first question. Well, that's a two-parter question, but we'll see. We'll see if they'll answer. So you want to know what you are afraid of and what you should do when you are afraid. Okay. Very good. I'm going to shuffle the deck. How long do I shuffle for? Well, it's all based on a feeling. I am focusing on your question as well. What are you afraid of? What should you do when you are afraid? Whoa, you had a card pop out at us. Usually when that happens, that means you keep it because it's trying to talk to you. What card is it? Makes sense. Solar plexus chakra. We'll get back to that. Let's go continue with the shuffling. Doesn't happen terribly often. But when you do, you take it as a sign. And that felt like a definite sign. Alright, I'm going to spread these out for you. And I want you to choose 2 more cards. Just run your fingers over the cards, and whichever one you stop on, that will be your next card. How do you tell? Well, some people might feel a tingle. Some people even hear a word that makes them want to stop, like stop, or just something in their brain that says this card, this one, choose this. So I'm going to need you to think about what you need answered. You can run your fingers, your nails over the cards. Go nice and slow. Feel them. Think. Focus on your intention. Let your mind and body and soul align. Ah, you found another card. Take it out. Hand to me? Manifestation power. Very nice. Alright. Next, let's try that again. Oh, that's your next card. What is it? Listen to your intuitive feelings. I see. Okay. Now let's look at each card here. We've got the solar plexus chakra. And what it says here is that it is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. We have manifestation power, which says use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. And third, listen to your intuitive feelings, which says your body is receiving accurate messages from the divine. Wow. All right. Shall we consult the little guidebook and see what it can tell us further into those messages? I have an idea of what is being said here, which is why it's rather interesting, the accuracy of this right now, but let's take a look so that you can understand for yourself and get the full proper experience. So first, your first card was the solar plexus chakra, and it says, where is it? Here we go. This card comes to you because the angels wish to help you with issues concerning power and control. They first want to reassure you that you are powerful. You, who are made in the image and likeness of your Creator, hold those same qualities, including power. It doesn't matter if you feel it or if you're afraid of your inner might. The fact is, you are powerful. Second, it's safe for you to use your power in loving ways. The angels won't allow you to abuse it, and the people who truly love you will respect and applaud your spirited words and actions. Remember that power doesn't equate to aggression. It simply means being completely authentic with yourself and others. The angels also want to remind you that no one else is controlling you or can control you without your permission. You always have options and choices, and the angels can help you make those decisions if you ask. They will also assist you in feeling more in control of your life and your spiritual gifts. So, going back to your question, what am I afraid of and what do I do when I am afraid? This is basically, in my eyes, telling you that you should not fear your truth. You should not fear your voice. And you should not fear your inner power. So, what this card is telling you is not to be afraid of the power that you do have and to strengthen that power. And to trust in the messages that you can receive. And I know that we talked the last time about fearing your truth and how others might perceive it, and how that can change your perception of yourself. And so perhaps what this card is trying to tell you is that you should not fear how it might look to others, and worry more about making sure that you allow your power to work through you. It's not an aggressive power or a power that is expressed through anger. It's more of a centered power, a very grounded power that you have to tap into. And what this card is telling you is that you are on the right track in asking the angels for their guidance and giving them permission to assist you in finding why you are afraid, and that this is what you should be doing with your fear, is confronting it. So the second card that you had drawn was the Manifestation Power card, which had said, use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. So we're going to look for that in the book. Okay. Again, it seems to be just reiterating the fact that you have power and that you have the control, and that no one can make you do things you don't want to do unless you want to do them. No one has control over you and the decisions you make or the actions that you take. So let me just read it to you. It says, with this card, the angels remind you of your innate spiritual abilities. Perhaps you've been complaining about something, or have been feeling like a victim under the influence of someone else's will. This card is a reminder that you do have the power to change everything in your life by using your natural spiritual gifts of manifestation. When you complain, you give away your power to others. Complaints are also negative affirmations that attract more of the same undesirable effects. The angels would like you to replace the old complaining habit with a healthier response of visualization and intending your desired outcome. So basically, what this card is trying to say is to not focus on your fears and not focus on the negativity, the negative feelings that it gives you, and focus instead on what you want as your desired outcome. You want to become someone who can act courageously, as we discussed before. So think of positive things in your life instead of negative. If you feel like you are being controlled, imagine yourself taking that control back and what it would feel like, what it would look like, what your life would look like in doing so. Now, I understand in this world where we're kind of stuck inside this foundation, that can become a very difficult thing to do. But even here, you can find positive things to focus on. And you should focus on those things. And again, I know that you had worried about the fact that you felt as though you might be a guinea pig in a ploy that you did not wish to be a part of. And while that may be your destiny for now, I do not believe that is your destiny forever. And this is telling you that you have the power to change that. You don't have to be the tool that they think you are. So, perhaps you should think on that for a little bit. Think of ways that you can still be yourself, even in a situation where your individuality has been taken from you. The third card that you chose was to listen to your intuitive feelings. We're going to go look for that description. Okay, here it is. This one says that your angels always want you to know that you're receiving divine messages, even when you're not noticing them. Most of these messages come through your physical and emotional senses, as your body is extremely sensitive to subtle energies. Sometimes you may not understand your feelings, yet they always have accurate underlying wisdom. You've received this card because you've asked a question that your body has already answered through your emotional and physical feelings. Your urge to trust your feelings and act upon them without delay. Ask the angels to protect and guide you, which they do through your intuitive sensations. As you give psychic readings or healings to others, know that it's impossible to be blocked from receiving angelic guidance. You're always feeling and thinking, and those are two primary ways in which the angels give you messages. Alright, so I think that one's an interesting card, especially considering what we talked about the last time again, about the fears that you've been having and how they came to be. You felt like you were being used, and it was something that seemed to cling to you. So perhaps that is just your body and your mind and your spirit's way of trying to tell you again that you need to take your power back. So I'm gleaning from this that your fear right now is of control, and that you lack control over your life and the outcome of your actions and interactions. And what I'm getting from the cards is that they're telling you that you are to take control and you are to ask for the help. Okay, so do you have a second question? Okay. You want to know specifically how you are to do this. Yeah, we can do another spread. That's perfectly fine. Let me just gather up the cards and do another shuffle. And we'll have you draw 3 more cards and see what 3 you do get and see what they tell us again. Okay? Sound good? Great. Alright. So, again, the cards are being shuffled. And I won't stop until I feel the urge to stop. And again, I want you to focus on your intention and your question and your outcomes. You want answers. You want honest answers. And you want them from specific divine beings. You want their guidance. You also want to be able to follow your intuition. So, focus on this and your question, which was, how do I do this? What steps do you take to get rid of your fear, to be able to rise up against it and conquer it? Alright, not quite. We're almost there. Alright, okay. Now again, I'm going to spread the cards for you. And you're to pick 3 cards. I want you to run your fingers over the cards. And whichever one speaks to you, whether it's a voice in your head or a sensation in your fingertips as you cross over the card, whatever it might be, just make sure that you do so and continue to focus on your question and who you're posing the question to. You found a card. Alright. Let's take that one out. Hand it to me. Shield yourself. Alright. Let's continue. Your next card. Think of the ways that you can eradicate your fear. Another one. All right, what is it? Cut your cords. All right. Let's put that one down. Let's go. Your 3rd card. Visualize what a life without fear would look like and how you might attain that. Found another? Was it a tingle? Yeah, I thought so. If you get nervous, focus on service. Okay, so those are your 3 cards. Let's go over these then. Your first was Shield Yourself, which says, protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. Alright. Very apt. That's very, very apt indeed. Your second card was Cut Your Cords, which says, ask the Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. And the third, if you get nervous, focus on service, which says put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. Alright, so for a deeper look, I have my own views on what this means, but for a deeper look, let's go into that lovely handy little book that we've got here. and look at the first card, which says shield yourself. Oh, I passed it. Let's find that again. Alright, shield yourself. It's one of the more powerful cards. It says, the angels brought this card to you because of your heightened sensitivity to energies. This sensitivity means that you may inadvertently absorb other people's energies. Like an empath, I understand that feeling, which may make you feel tired, unfocused, or upset. Just as you wouldn't walk outdoors in a rainstorm without an umbrella, it's important to use an energy umbrella in the face of any emotional downpour. If you feel negative energy or people are arguing, competing, or using frightening words, it's vital for you to shield yourself. This means imagining that a bubble of protective light surrounds your entire body. You can also ask the Archangel Michael to guard you from lower energies, and you can even borrow his shield as a protective buffer. One way that you can do this is to visualize yourself surrounded by colors, more of the bright colors. So white light, which would be for protection, green for healing, and then purple for spiritual protection, which is an interesting card, I think, that you drew, because if it is true that you yourself are an empath, it could be that the fear that you have been feeling may not even be your fear. It could be the fear of others that you have picked up. And of course, in this foundation here, where they're kind of based on fear, if you think about it, the fear of the unknown and protecting those from these fears, well, your fear of me could be not even your own. Which, of course, would bring us back to your earlier reading and the discussion about control. It makes it much harder for an empath to control those emotions and their connection to their own spirituality, because they find it easier to absorb other spiritual energies and emotions, and it confuses their own emotions. And so what you need to do is you need to shield yourself from it. One way of doing so is being aware of your own emotions and knowing which ones are yours and which ones belong to someone else or those you're around. Another thing is to try and remove yourself from the situation where negative energies are surrounding you. That could be, physically removing yourself, or trying to find yourself a space where you can center and ground yourself, where you can be alone, where you can reinfuse yourself with positive thoughts. A lot of people tend to try and meditate, which is helpful in forming a shield. Some people like to have a sort of physical representation of actually putting up a shield. Some like to put a cloak and they'll do the actions of covering their head with a cloak. Others might like to zip up something like a jacket that will help to buffer these negative energies. So that is a way that you can help yourself with your fear, is to block out other people's fear. Okay, so let us move on to the next one, which was Cut Your Cords, which is, I believe, also another interesting card. Let's find that one. Okay, Cut Your Cords. You drew this card because negativity connected to a past relationship is interfering with the situation you've inquired about. Fortunately, this toxic energy can be easily vanquished with the help of Archangel Michael, the powerful angel who will release you from the effects of fear. Interesting that. Okay. Anytime you experience fear within any relationship you have, a cord similar to a leash made out of hollow tubing is attached to both of you. It's kind of like a fate binding cord. You may have cords connecting you to your parents, to other loved ones, living or deceased, siblings, lovers, those who've helped you, those you've helped, such as students or clients, and anyone with whom you've shared a significant relationship. Cords are nothing to be afraid of or ashamed of. They just need to be cut every now and then, because otherwise they can drain your energy and be the culprit behind your fear and physical pain. So, can you think of any relationships that you currently have or have had in the past that you feel were based on fear or made you feel afraid? A current one, and what relationship would that be? Yes, again, this foundation, I understand it is based on fear, so I can I can guess that is what this would have to do with, the fact that you're here and you, one, don't want to be, and two, are being forced to do things you don't necessarily want to do. It's a very negative kind of relationship to have. And the thing is with cutting cords, of course, that when you cut a cord, it's supposed to release that relationship from you. So in some way, shape, or form, it will become more of a distant thing, less in the forefront of your life and more in the background. So perhaps an escape might be a good idea for you. And of course, any other relationships you may have had that may have been fearful for you or may have made you feel uncomfortable with past friends or lovers or people who made you feel like you were less than, or those relationships that you wish to eradicate. I know, sometimes it's hard when you think of those you've made connections with and who may be toxic to you, but you don't necessarily want to remove yourself from. But it is kind of essential. You have to understand that it's very rare for people to find people that remain in their lives forever. Usually people are just passing through. They might stay for a day or an hour, or they might stay for several years. But to find someone that stays forever is a rare thing indeed. Alright, so cutting your cords is a way for you to help you deal with your fear, to confront it, and to remove it from your life. The third one was, if you get nervous, focus on service. So let's go take a look at that one. Here it is. This says, you drew this card because you've been called into service, either as some sort of practitioner of healing or a teacher or someone to give answers. The thought of conducting this may trigger some sort of nervousness, but don't worry because the anxiety has no bearing on your readiness. It's simply the ego wrestling to gain control through fear. The antidote is to focus on your higher self's mission, which is loving service. You share one love and one spirit. Your spiritual work is about connecting to that one great force in the universe. So while the ego wants to concentrate on I worries, such as what if I can do this, or what if they don't like me, the higher self is completely focused on lovingly giving service. So to operate out of your higher self, you need to focus on blessing instead of impressing others. So, if you are acting out of wishing to impress or entice others, that is not the way to go. If you're afraid of what you can do and what your actions might tell others, or what they might think of you, you should focus less on that and focus more on bringing some sort of light into the life of others, because that will bring light into your life. Interesting card to have drawn, I think. But also it makes sense. Though possibly difficult here, though at the same time, if you think about it, your visits do bring me a great deal of pleasure, so in a sense, you are serving. And I will admit that in your visits I've learned very much about myself. So perhaps those should continue. But perhaps that's just an ego talking. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy our visits. And did you have any other questions for the cards? You have a third? Okay. No, I don't mind at all. As I said, I enjoy your company immensely. So, what is your third question? That is a good question. Who can you trust to help you? That's a very good question. Because not everyone deserves your trust, and not everyone should be trusted. There are plenty of people that seem terribly logical when they talk to you or when they express themselves, and they might be, but that does not necessarily mean that they should be trusted. So, let us again consult the cards, consult the Archangel Michael, and see what answers he has for you. Again, I'm going to shuffle the cards, and then I will spread them, and you will choose your 3 cards from which we will read. Are you ready? Okay. Oof, another one popped out. What if... What have we got here? Powerful animal. My goodness. These cards today are... Shall we continue with the shuffling then? Goodness me. How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? A little shaken? Why? Ah, yes. It can seem very accurate indeed. I guess they've got a message for you today. Don't be afraid. Just be open to receiving it. Don't have to do what's being, told. You don't have to do what it's suggesting. It's all your choice. Whether you decide to listen to the divine energies that are trying to work in your life, or you find your own way. Either way. Oof. Another one. Vacuum away fear. All right. All right, I think I'm ready for you to choose your final card. I'll spread it out for you. Give it some thought. You're asking, who can I trust? Who is trustworthy? Who can assist you in your journey to finding yourself and conquering your fear? Found one. Integrity. All right. Let's take a look at these cards. We've got powerful animal. It says, your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. That's an interesting one, and I will explain to you why if you don't already know. Your next card said, vacuum away fear, which says to call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, the situation, and everyone involved. Interesting. The last card that you drew was integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowingness of what's right for you. So, shall we consult the book? Again, I have my own ideas, but it's always good to see what the book might provide us with. So, powerful animal is the first card. Here we go. Powerful animal. This card is a message for you to work with, with animals, both physically and spiritually, for they are reaching out and attempting to communicate with you. In order to hear those benevolent beings, you'll need to listen with your heart and inner ear without judgment. Once you open your mind, you'll clearly hear their loving voices and messages. You also have specific animals with you as guides, which may include a special pet. These power animals are like angels who are very connected with the earth. So, interesting, that one, considering most would consider me a fox girl, a fox, a kitsune, generally a wily animal, but I am of that ilk. Whether they know this or not, I am unsure, but it seems like you may have found yourself a spirit animal. And it is true that I am trying to help you. Ever since you came to see me, we have been trying to find ways for you to feel comfortable with yourself and less strained in your situation, to alleviate your sleepless nights, your frightful dreams, and the fear that you feel you're experiencing, being locked up in this place, much like a caged animal, and fed to the wolves, or in this case a fox. But I promise, I have not done anything that you should worry about or fear. I am here to help, and as the card says, you should listen without judgment. Do not think of the things that they've told you or the things that you've heard about me. Form your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own feelings based on our interactions. It's too often that I see and have seen humans especially give in to gossip instead of getting to know someone else in the way that they work and understanding them. They fall prey to the ease of listening to others' beliefs and adopting them as their own. So, it's saying that perhaps you should trust me, or perhaps you have another spirit animal waiting for you. But in this place, well, I don't think there's many around, really. Not many that are necessarily safe. I'd like to think that I'm mostly safe. Although, I could have sworn the other day I did hear a dog barking. But that's besides the point. The next card, your second card, was Vacuum Away Fear. So let us read this and see what this tells you. You chose this card because you or someone close to you have absorbed some energies of fear. They could have been self-generated from your own foreboding, or may have come from being with fearful people. Whenever you feel tired or have been subjected to substance abuse, such as spending time in a pub or bar, take the time to cleanse away residual energies. You can conduct this process anytime or anywhere, even when other people are nearby. You can also conduct this vacuuming for other people, in person or remotely. To vacuum yourself or another person, you simply say, Archangels Michael and Raphael, I call upon you and your healing band of mercy angels to come now with your spiritual vacuum. Please deposit the vacuum hose through the crown chakra and suction away toxic, fear-based, or entity energy. So again, it is telling you who to trust, in that you are to trust the angels that you have called upon, Michael and Raphael, for protection and for healing. And you are to trust them to help you to lift and remove fear-based energies from you, from your person, physically, from your spiritual self, from your emotional self. And lastly, integrity. And integrity says that, let's see if we can find this card. Integrity says this card is a response to your questions or prayers regarding increasing your happiness and confidence and decreasing your fear. The angel's answer is, only conduct activities that you believe are right. This is based on no one else's code of conduct but your own. The angels say that engaging in behaviors that you feel guilty or ashamed about erode your self-esteem and self-confidence. Conversely, you can feel great about yourself by only doing that which you feel is right and serving your purpose. Again, this is based on your own moral compass and no one else's. The angels can help you change or heal any situation or relationship so you're able to bring your entire life fully into alignment with your inner truth. So essentially what I think this card is trying to say is that you need to believe in yourself. You need to put great stock in your intuition, and that you can be trusted to help yourself. That gut feeling that you get, that gut feeling, that instinct that tells you when something is right or something is wrong, should be trusted in your actions so that you do not do things that you will be ashamed of, or things that you will fear or worry about. And I know from our last talks that you are worried about your actions here. So perhaps you might want to think about what this foundation has you doing and whether it's aligned with your purpose. And when you figure out whether it is or not, and if it is not what you should do, you will find yourself fearing the situation and those who have put you in it less and less. So, how do you feel after that reading? You're feeling better? Do you feel like perhaps you might have some answers and some tools to help you with your fear? Good. I do hope that you're able to put some of it into effect and really ruminate on whether this will be helpful for you. Oh, well, it was my pleasure. I do seek to help, despite what may be said. You want to take these with you? Well, I don't have any problem with that. I'm sure we can sneak it past security. That won't be too hard, I hope. Though they do watch this place like a hawk. If not, well, you can always come back and I can always do more readings for you. I have no problem with that, do you? No? Good. Well, it seems like the guards are back and your time is up. I hope that you find a restful sleep this night. And I do hope that you found the answers that you sought. Good night.